Hello, hello. Come on in, hit that like button. Thank you for joining us. We will be starting very shortly.
Out there in Flint, exposed to lead coming from the water crisis. The Philly kids in the crossfires of the drug wars and the gun violence. The Chi-Town kid on gang turf killed his payback for his daddy drama. Police don't feel safe, we can feel the fear every time they get behind us. The youth don't fear nothing, everywhere you look it's very clear they need a father. Success is a fantasy life, we rarely seen around. The sanctity of marriage is something we need to honor. Pray more dads out here start back wanting to be a father. Take it back to family values, villages raising kids and pride in the neighborhood we live in. Let's work to see more two-parent homes, building wealthy support systems for our future generations to win. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my first show. I'm so happy to be here. Hey, Shane. Nice to see you. Make sure you guys share. We got a few topics to talk about. I just went through comments from old videos and I just wanted to address a few things, and we can just kind of, conversate with each other. If you guys have questions, I'm willing to answer, and we'll see how much time we have. We may even open up the lines to get you guys to come up. But thank you so much for tuning in. I'm excited, a little nervous, but this is going to be a fun show. Thank you. Thank you. So, the first thing that I want to address is a controversial topic about being a stay-at-home mother and living off of one income. I recently did a show. I can't remember whose platform I was in, Pregnancy Brain, you guys. But I hear this often that a lot of people say that you cannot live off of one income. And I just that's a lie. That is something people say because they haven't tried it. They haven't took the time to sacrifice and prioritize what is important, which is family. So I just wanted to talk about that because I believe wholeheartedly that families, yes, it was on Rebecca's, thank you, Shane, Rebecca's stream for wife life. That's what we were talking about it there. And a lot of people feel like they cannot survive without two incomes. We need two incomes. Even the men are saying it, women. And I truly believe it's just a cop out because it absolutely is possible. And I think a lot of people just don't want to have to sacrifice their materialistic things. And I think family is much more important than Jordans. Get some hand-me-downs, go to the thrift store, get some what do you call those shoes, Shacks from Walmart. They're just as nice. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of parents want to put their kids in the best looking things. They want to drive the best looking car and look good for society, look good for the outside world, instead of investing in your family and building what's in your home. A lot of people just want to look a certain way for society, for the world. They want to uh, look like they're doing something when they're living paycheck to paycheck to pay off these car notes, and nothing to show for, nothing. They're not building anything. And when you have a mother at home, your children will absolutely benefit from that. They will be a lot more well-rounded, a lot more confident. And I was even talking to my husband the other day about how some of my kids just are, when they were babies, they're like, no, I'm not, like my 2-year-old right now, she will not go to any type of daycare. Like when I'm at Bible study or at church or something, and I try to leave her in there, even with all her siblings there, she's like, no, I'm going to be with my mommy. And I think a lot of us tend to try to force our children into these situations, and I think it traumatizes them, especially at a young age. A lot of people just feel like, well, you need to get them used to being with strangers, but I don't believe that. They don't need to be used to strangers. They need to be they need to feel secure with their parents. So hey, Love C, thank you. But I just wanted to, clear that up, because I hear a lot of excuses, a lot of women and men saying that you just can't do it on one income. You absolutely can. And even if it's for a season, if your wife is staying home, she can start to build something and do something from home to get a little income, a little supplemental income. But I think the priority needs to be our family. I think we need to bring it back, because we're so worried about how we look. We're so worried about, what people think about us. I remember I bring up this story all the time because I'm appalled by it. And even now, looking back, because I wasn't as educated on benefits staying home, I just knew that's what I needed to do for my family. But years ago, I remember I was at church, and I was talking to some ladies, and one of the women, she was a daycare provider, and she was like, so what is it that you do? I see that your husband, he's an artist, he does this, he does that. What do you do? And I said, well, I'm a mother and a wife. I stay home and take care of my family. And she seemed confused by that. And she was like, so your children don't go to daycare? And I'm like, no, why would they go to daycare? I'm at home. She was like, well, they need to go to daycare. They need to be able to talk to other or socialize with other children. And you need your break. And I'm like, no, I get breaks when I need it. I mean, it's a 2-parent household, so my husband can give me a break. I don't need to send my children away. And two, they have siblings. They don't need to socialize with other people's kids. And she just was so adamant with me, telling me that my kids need to be in daycare because that's going to make them better kids. And then if you really look at the news, because this was during the time I was seeing all these horrifying stories about kids coming home with bite marks and scratches, and seeing videos of these daycare providers beating on your kids because they're annoyed, or you come to pick up your kid and that baby is got a full diaper and all this other stuff. Nobody is going to take care of your babies like you're going to take care of your babies. So I just think it's this mindset. It's feminism that's even leaked into to the church where women feel like your children need to be in daycare because that's going to make them better kids. No, your children need to be with their mother. That is what's going to make them better kids, and have a father in that home. That's what's going to give them that security and well-roundedness, not being with strangers who don't love your children. Now, I understand for single mothers and then certain situations where you have to do that, but that should I would pray that that isn't something that you feel like is good for them and that you need to keep them in daycare. Even though you're not working right now, they need to go to daycare because it's gonna benefit them, and I need my break. I think we need to stop thinking about ourselves and these breaks and me time, and enjoy those few first 5-6 years of your children, and they will eventually leave the house and you'll have all the break that you need. And then you're going to be begging for your grandbabies to come over. So it's just, I just wanted to speak on this because I'm just tired of hearing this um this excuse that it can't happen. I can't do that. Move out of your city. A lot of us, especially in the Black community, we live in the border cities, these big cities that are expensive. Why? Move. Go to middle America somewhere. Go to West Virginia or something. It's a lot cheaper if you get off of these coastal cities, and stop. There's ways. Where there's a will, there's a way. You have to really think about what is important to you. Is it your children's well-being, or is it, I'm gonna just do what makes me happy because I want to be cool and I want to be accepted by society. But somebody recently asked me, what are the benefits of staying home as a stay-at-home mom? What are the benefits? The benefits is one that I've actually noticed is that I'm well rested. My youth is preserved. I'm not stressed out. I'm not bitter. I'm not angry. I'm able to control my emotions better. I have the time to actually reflect and focus my purpose on my children. When I worked, because I worked for a little while during this marriage, thinking that that was going to bring me value. It was in the beginning of our marriage, and I was like, I suck at being a housewife. I sucked at it. The house wasn't clean how I wanted it to be. I wasn't cooking every day. I felt like I was of no value. So I, talked to my husband. I was like, please, I just want to go back to work. This is just not for me. And he's like, all right, fine, do it. And I did it and regretted it because I seen how it affected my children, how tired and bitter I was. I would come home tired, don't want to cook, don't want to clean, and things even got worse at home. And it didn't benefit us. The money wasn't that worth it. I ended up spending a lot of that money on eating out because I didn't feel like cooking. You see what I'm saying? A lot of there's a lot of cons to having, especially if you have young children, having the woman of the house outside of the home. I want to make a move so bad, hopefully one day. And I pray that you do. I pray that um you definitely find a better place that would be suitable for your family. And I think that's important. We have to think about what will be suitable for me and my family. Is this where I need to be? Do I have the support? Do I need the support? Because right now we're in a place where there's no family around and we have 7 children. And it only makes sense for me to stay home, of course. But on top of that, it's doable. You don't have to stick around just because your family is there. Your new family is your husband and children. Build from there. Create a new legacy. Create new traditions. Just be a whole new unit. It's you and your family against the world. And I think a lot of people, like I said, don't want to part ways from you know, their moms and their dads. And brothers and cousins. And maybe that will be actually best for you and your family. You never know, because a lot of times our family can be very, very toxic. And actually, considering, I could segue into that next topic, because someone asked me recently, how do you deal with toxic family members? Oh my goodness. I've dealt with it. And I've made the mistake of talking too much, taking advice, and it created chaos within my home and within my marriage. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your family members out of your marriage. Do not talk to them about the problems that y'all are having, because we all know that they're not going to be as forgiving as you are, because once you've moved on and you've forgiven your husband or your wife, they still have those thoughts in the back of their head, and they still have this idea of what they think your husband is. You know your husband, you know your wife better than they do, because you live with them, you deal with them, and you know their heart better. Your family doesn't. So when you go to them to rant, to complain, it creates issues. And then there's seeds that's planted. Then they remind you of the times that your husband or wife sinned against you. See, you remember when that time happened, and da, 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 da. And then you've already went past that, but they're bringing it up, and it creates a bitterness within you. And then you're not, wait, did I truly forgive him? I don't know. I'm kind of mad about that. Then you're treating him differently because of something your family brought up about something that you've been forgave him about and forgot about. It is imperative that you do not talk. I wouldn't, honestly, me personally, I don't talk to anyone about my marriage. I talk to God. I take it to God. And if I really need to talk to somebody, I talk to my husband, not any outside people. That's just a something bad waiting to happen, because when you let people in, one, you never know if they are actually for you. You don't know that. People can secretly hate you. People can secretly be envious of you. People can secretly want you to be without your spouse, because they will have more access to you. So it's extremely important to keep your family out of your marriage. But when it comes to toxic family members, like for example, I've had a time where um I'm gonna go there, where my because I wasn't gonna say specifics, but when my mother-in-law has said negative things about my husband, right? And this is his mom. So you don't want to argue with her. You don't want to rub her the wrong way. You don't want to have any issues. This is, you know, the grandmother of my children. And because let it had been somebody outside of the family, then I would be like, I would check that. But because she's my mother-in-law, you kind of like, I'm not gonna rub her the wrong way. A way to do that without being disrespectful to her is to combat whatever negativity she's saying about your husband with positivity, and they'll get the picture. For instance, like I said, she said something about the way that he sings, and was joking about he can't sing, da 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 da. I personally thought he had a beautiful voice. He used to serenade me with that voice. Like, I was just so confused when she said this. So I'm like, what? My husband has an amazing voice. I love his voice. And her face turned up. She was annoyed by it, but she can't just outright be mad at me for saying something positive. So after a while of hearing that I'm not going to entertain the negativity, that stopped. She stopped talking to me negatively about my husband. And that is a great way to kind of combat that without being disrespectful, without creating a big, huge blowout, is to just say something negative and don't entertain. I mean, say something positive and don't entertain the negative. That's that's what's worked for me. But like I said, the number one thing is just don't entertain it. Don't talk to people about your marriage and don't get pulled in, because you know how women are. We once, especially once we get together, if we're all wives, we'll start to say stuff about our husbands in a jokingly manner. Oh yeah, he's so annoying, he left his dirty socks on the floor and right next to the basket, and in a jokingly way, and everybody thinks it's all light-hearted. But when you open that door, a lot of times people like to use that and try to get information and try to, and want to make you look bad, want to make your marriage look not so as perfect as people are just people. They want to have one up on you, and they can do that by acting like, oh, this is a camaraderie thing, we're just talking bad about our husbands together. But in reality, they want to know, they want something negative that they can say about your family, because they don't like whatever it may be that you represent. But yeah, so I'm gonna look at the comments really quick. Do y'all have any questions? Trendy says, my husband is very relaxing, easy to talk to. Thank God. I hope to collaborate with me. Okay, cool. Definitely. Just email me. Go to my info. My email is there. But I'm glad your husband is easy to talk to. Not all men are easy to talk to. um Shane says, I have never ever discussed any relationship with a family member, not even my mother. It's private. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Not even your it's I would go as far as to say especially not your mother, because she is 100% going to be biased no matter what. She's going to be on your side no matter what. So definitely keep your parents out of your marital issues. Hey, Kim. Thank you for pulling up, girl. It's nice to see you. Hey, Jenny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for showing up and supporting. All right. Thank you. Sending love to you and your family. Blessings. Thank you, Trendy. All right. So I recently had a video, and it was titled From Modern Single Mother to Pick Me. And that's me. I was a single mother before um, my husband met me, and I was modern. I was a modern single mother, and I am still learning to retrain my mind and be a better wife, be a more traditional woman. And somebody in the comment asked me, which actions and attitudes have I changed? And I think that was a great question. And I just wanted to address that really quick. And the number one for me is my mind changed when I realized what my purpose was. And I think that's extremely important for women, especially women aspiring to be married or are married, to understand this is your purpose. This is your God given purpose, to be a wife and a mother. And a lot of women feel like that's, oh, I'm not just a wife, I'm not just a mother, but these are one of the most important jobs in the world. Why are we sleeping on it and making it seem like it's something so little and demeaning to be identified as that? You should proudly wear the title that I'm a mother and I'm a wife. Thank you, Fendi. that I'm a mother and that I'm a wife. But you hear and see, I just seen on Instagram, um someone did a video about how I had to find myself again and not just be a mom or just be a wife anymore. I needed to find who I am again. But that is who you are. This is your new identity. There's nothing wrong with that. Embrace that. Be the embodiment of that, so your children can grow up to know what it is to look for when my sons want to marry a woman and create a family with them, when my daughters want to know how to be a productive, purposeful woman. I believe being a wife and a mother gives you further purpose, and that is who you are, and we shouldn't dem- feel like that's demeaning. I don't understand why we always have to say, don't lose yourself. We got to find out who we are and who we are besides being a wife and a mother. I am Trendy says I am definitely a traditional woman. I am 23 years young, but I am around the age of modern women. Thank goodness I decided to be a wife and mother. I don't regret being a submissive wife ever. Thank you. It is so rare to see such a young woman saying something like this. It's rare, and that's not okay. We got to change that narrative. Thank you, Trendy. Like, that is amazing that you're even bold enough to say that at your age, because at your age you will get canceled by women your age. Like, what do you mean you're traditional and you want to be submissive? What? You're a slave. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to do. We have to be bold and we have to get louder than these modern women. I'm tired of feminism. I'm tired of these modern women. We have to be louder than them. We have to let people know that this is not slavery. This is purpose. This is freedom. This is how our legacy is going to live on. We're benefiting the whole world by what it is that we're doing here in our homes. But so purpose, that was number 1. Another attitude that I changed was being selfless and stop thinking about self all the time. How is this going to benefit me? If I do this, what am I going to get out of it? That is something, as a modern woman, it's all about me, 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 me. Just like I said on that Instagram post, the woman, excuse me, the woman says that she needs to find herself again outside of being a mom and a wife. I find that to be very selfish. I find that to be, a very modern outlook on life. Life isn't about you anymore, ma'am. Just like for your husband, life isn't about him anymore. His life is now about providing, protecting, and making sure his family is all right. You don't hear men walking around talking about, I got to find myself to be who I am outside of a father, outside of a husband, outside of a leader. You don't hear that. If you've heard a man say that, you would cringe. You would be like, what? No. That is who you are. You are the leader. You are a husband. You are a father. These are great titles that make, like, the most important titles in the world to have. Why are we demeaning them? So selflessness, being selfless is a big, yes, selflessness is huge. You will not be able to properly take care of your family. You will not be able to properly be the woman that your family needs without that. And that is one of the biggest things that I did to change. I stopped thinking about what I'm going to do, what's going to benefit me, and think about what's going to benefit my husband, what's going to benefit our children, what's going to benefit our name and legacy. Because when I'm gone, I want my family to know, or I want the world to know. Thank you, Allie. I want the world to know our name is great. Our name is great, and the people they produced are great. They're integral. They have morals, they have standards. They're not to be messed with. They're bold. They're not afraid to tell the truth. That is what's important to me. I need my husband's name to live on and not to be forgotten as just another statistic, another black man or whatever. Thank you, Shannon. You guys make me so happy. I want so yeah, selflessness. And then with selflessness comes humility. And that was another big mindset change that I had to do. I had to be humble. I had to be okay not being right. The need to be right is just something I hate um to claim this, but I just think it's just something inherently in women if it's not checked as children with our fathers. If it wasn't checked, then it's just going to be in us, and it's something that we got to work on, because I still have to work on that. I need to be right, and that I told you so attitude. But throughout my marriage, I've learned that does me no good. It does me no good to be right. Half the time, I don't want to be right because I want my husband to feel like to know that he's doing an adequate job, because he is. And to sit there and throw in his face that I need that I'm right and you were wrong. What does that do? That doesn't do anything but uh emasculate him and make him feel unproductive, or um just not like he's doing his job. And I don't want him to feel like that. I want him to be confident in his role, so we can be adequately led. We don't want our husbands to second guess everything. And I think with a mindset of I'm right, you're wrong all the time, that's what you will create in a man, a man that loses his confidence, because we're here to inspire him. We're here to make sure that he understands who he is, even when he doesn't see it. And if we are always arguing with him, always questioning his leadership, that will affect him in his ability to lead your family. And it helps nobody. And then you're mad because you're taking on stress that you shouldn't even be taking on. We are um we are a representative of our husbands. The way we carry ourselves, the way we speak, all showcases to the world what exactly is being instilled in our homes. Exactly, Jenny. Exactly. We are our husband's reflection. We like we give our husbands favor. I did a video about that, based on how we carry ourselves, the wisdom that we carry, the way that we treat others and love others and forgive others. It all reflects back to how our husbands are seen. So that's a great comment. The What's that say? The no has something. Oh, the need to be right. Is that the NOI has something called MGT, Muslim Girl Training, that educates women and girls on the basics of how to carry themselves. This was founded back in 1933. Do you think ladies are open to being, is there more? Taught, oh, I see it. Taught how to conduct themselves by essentially unlearning the bad habits they've picked in the Western society. I think I wouldn't say majority, and I know what you're talking about. It's like a finishing school. I actually looked up some finishing schools in my area. I'm thinking once my daughters get a little older, I'm gonna send them as well. But would they you hear the kids. But would they be willing? I don't know. I don't think a lot of us would, but I think there are many, especially women that follow me, the women that follow people like Allie and Chantel and Security Boss. There's a lot of women in these spaces that are recognizing that they need help and that they want to learn to do better and to be better. So for those women, Yeah, I definitely believe that they will be willing to take classes. I believe there's, there's many people that are actually providing those kind of classes for women now online and stuff, because it's becoming more popular. It's becoming more popular to be submissive wives, and I'm just loving it. I'm loving it because the nuclear family is about to be great again. And I'm just excited to see what God is doing in our nation, because think we need to turn this around. We definitely do. We see a lot of broken homes, and it's affecting our communities big time. You know, we see it now with our youth. They don't care about anything. And it's sad, and it has a lot to do with single motherhood. And that makes me think about another comment someone brought up, asking me, why are we always addressing women, and why are we blaming women for the the breakdown in our homes? And my answer to that, one, is I'm a woman, so I relate to women. That's why I'm addressing women. But two, men have been held accountable day one since day one. And I rarely hear men say, hey, um why are you holding me accountable? What about the women? You don't hear men say that. If they don't like what you're saying, they just move on. But the pointing the fingers, I think, is very childish. But women are childlike, and although they hate to admit that, they display that all the time. But if you really think about it, though, we give access to sex, right, ladies? Don't we? I mean, we're not even going to say the word, but we're the ones that give access to that. Men give access to relationship and marriage. So, why are there so many single mothers? Because we're deciding to have sex outside of wedlock. We're deciding to have sex with people that we know aren't going to be there for you. And the best way to know they're going to be there for you is to wait until marriage. I truly wish that I would have, because there a lot I would have missed out on a lot of trauma that I went through, and my children as well. It's not good for our society at all. And it starts with whoever has the ability to say no to sex, right? We are the ones that are giving men access to our wombs. We need to protect our wombs better. That is why. That is why, ladies. That is why women need to be addressed about this, because the sexual liberation is causing a lot of turmoil in our nation. I wanted to ask, do you homeschool your children? I do myself, and I would love to hear your advice on the matter. Thank you. Yes, I do homeschool my children. I started after, the COVID issue, and it's been it's been a journey. It's a lot. I can say, especially with the amount of kids. I'm homeschooling 4 of them. Thankfully, 3 of them are too young right now. But what advice can I give? Be patient with yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself, because at the end of the day, they are benefiting from being home with you rather than being at these indoctrination camps. Yes, public school is an indoctrination camp. And if you can help it, please get your children out of public school. It is not good for them. Is you need to be their main influence. In other words, please get your children out of public school. It's just not a good look. But as far as homeschooling, it's it's been a struggle. I'm not gonna lie, it has been, but I do see the benefits, and I could not go back. I could not change and send them back to public school. I use a free curriculum called Easy Peasy Homeschool. It's Christian. It does Bible studies and things like that. And then with my younger children, I just focus on what is the the main things: reading, math comprehension for the little ones. So right now we're learning how to read. We're learning how to recognize numbers and letters and stuff like that. So you don't really need a curriculum for the younger kids, but if it will help you, definitely do that. And there's a lot of other places where you can get free or used books for like $3, used curriculums for like $10, and things like that. So just be on the lookout for different ways. The I kind of get on YouTube and look at what other moms are doing and kind of pull from here and there and whatever works for my family. We don't do a set schedule where we at 8 a.m. have school. It's when I have time, because right now I'm 8 months pregnant, so I may oversleep or something like that, and we may do school in the evening while my husband's at work or whatever. That's what I love about it, that it's on my time. We did school throughout summer. We do school on the weekends. So that's what I love about it, the freedom that you have. Thank you, Cam, for that shout out. Anyone see that video? Gen Z knows nothing. Unbelievable thing they didn't learn. Remember from public school? No, I haven't seen that. No, I haven't. Oh yes, yes. Think Exodus.org. That's a I'm starting my daughter on that very soon. It's a great homeschooling that focuses on deprogramming our children from the indoctrination from the public schools. Is very good. Something that you should definitely look into. And there are tutorials about particular subjects if you have trouble, so you can explain it to them exactly, or just have them look at the video themselves if they're old enough. Absolutely. You don't have to have a degree to teach them, especially with internet. Like, it's pretty easy. Thanks, Cam. Okay, so let's see what this says. I don't have my glasses, you guys. I wear glasses. What does it say? Okay, my sister, what do you think of hypocritical feminists that bash women like you who aren't feminists? What do I say about them? I just say that their time is up. That's what I say. Their time is up, and they're getting pushed to the side. So they can be mad all they want. I'm cool with the hate. Hate makes me great. Hi, Jasmine. How do you deal with toxic family? I just went over that a few minutes ago. So once we're done, just rewind it a little bit. I did address that for you though. Thank you for coming in. Love the answer. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not worried about these feminists, these feminazis. They can hate all they want, but guess who's winning? Guess who's happy? Guess who has joy? If you see a lot of these feminists, they're angry, they're on antidepressants and anxiety meds, they bald, cutting their hair off, just doing all kind of crazy stuff because they're just unhappy and bitter and want to have some kind of control over their lives. So at the end of the day, who's producing the best results? That's what I'm about, results and solutions. What do I think about the soft girl era phenomenon? I actually just did a video with Chantel. Shout out to Chantel Simone. Um, and we talked about this soft girl era, and I didn't even know that was a thing now. Like, I had no clue about that till that show. And what do I think about it? I think it's funny. I think it's a way to manipulate men, but I do believe that there's a positive side to it. I think it's going to red pill women, because once they tap into that and recognize, that this is actually good for me, it feels good to be soft, it feels good to be quiet, it feels good to not have to take control all the time. I think a lot more people are gonna, not all of them, but some of the women may realize, okay, maybe I need to take this more seriously and go do some research on how to actually really be submissive and feminine. But I do want to say, men, definitely keep your eyes peeled, because it looks like there's going to be a lot of chameleons out here. And don't get dazed by beauty and quietness, because that doesn't always mean that you know that they're actually submissive and going to withstand that throughout the marriage or relationship. Because a woman is truly tested when she's unhappy, when something goes wrong and she doesn't agree with you. That is when she's truly tested on who she really is. So um maybe put her in a situation where she would be upset and see how she reacts. But I think you guys need to, definitely be a little bit more careful now that women are recognizing that they have power within their femininity. How do you keep the spark in your marriage? Mm, I think the best way to do that is, one, to, as a woman, be interested in the things that he's interested in. Even if you don't understand it, do a little research so you can actually have a conversation with him about those things that makes him inspired, that whatever that thing is, that just you can see that glow in his eyes when he speaks about it. Don't what can I say? Don't ignore that. Even if you're not educated on it, figure it out so you can be able to have a conversation with him, and that will spark that interest to continue to happen, to have good conversations. And also dating. I think dating is important, even if you don't leave the house. Like, we don't go out as much, especially now that I'm so big. I really don't really care to go out that much right now. But when my children are asleep, make sure your children have a bedtime and not rolling over your house and sleeping in your bedroom. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. I know we love our babies. We want to be our babies everything, but when you have children, they need to know boundaries. They need to know to knock on your door before coming in. They need to understand that when mommy and daddy are having quiet time, don't interrupt. So I think that's big as well, keeping that understanding that the children aren't going to run your life. Don't let your children run your life, because they're going to leave one day and have their own family, and then you're going to be left with your husband, and you need to be able to have that relationship with him. But as far as dating, even if you don't have the extra funds to go out and stuff like that, you can date right at home. You can send your kids to bed and find a show that y'all might like together and watch often, or a movie, or even just sit down and talk about your day together, eat, have a glass of wine, fix them something good, and just really um spend that time at his feet. Like, hey babe, let's talk, let's hang out, I want to be around you. And when you do that, that just, that sparks something in him, that he's like, okay, she still likes me, and then he starts doing sweet things for you. So yeah, that's all I can think of right now. Okay, Jasmine, controversial question. But does your husband have a right to sex on demand from the moment y'all say y'all I do's? Absolutely. Absolutely. His body is my body is his body, and vice versa. Like, I definitely don't believe you should ever be denying or saying no to your husband. And a lot of women would like to say, oh, well, what about when I'm tired or when I'm sick or when I'm this and when I'm that? Obviously, if you're sick, he probably won't even bother you. But as far as tired, ma'am, you don't have to do much if you're tired. I mean, but just to say no, that's I don't think that's a smart thing to do, especially considering we know that men are a lot more sexually driven than we are. And I think we just need to understand that and stop shaming men for that and be okay with the fact that that's just how God created him. And he is sacrificing the fact that he's going to be spending the rest of his life with you, one woman. We have to consider that. For us, that's yes, I don't want a bunch of different men. I want my one man. But that's not the same. Men and women aren't the same. They don't feel that way. And I think it's important that we recognize what and who men are and be okay with the fact that they need sex, and it's not good or smart to deprive him or say no when he wants it. That could turn him off and make him not even want it in the future if you're always telling him no, because he's like, okay, then you don't want me then. No man wants to be with a woman that doesn't want him. So that's something you definitely gotta you can't go into a marriage thinking that you're going to be able to say no. That's not okay. Hit those nerves, Jasmine, with the truth. Amen. What's your take on men who are virgins by choice? I think that's awesome. I think being saving yourself for marriage is an amazing thing, both men and women. I believe that's how it should be. So there is no as much temptation. You see what I'm saying? There is no expectations of what my last girlfriend used to do or what my last boyfriend used to do. You don't have anything to compare it to, and y'all can grow together sexually. I think that would be beautiful if men were virgins and women were virgins and they got together. I think marriages would last a lot longer. All right, Trendy. I agree. I give my husband sex anytime and whenever he wants it. Amen. And that's how you keep a happy man. That is how you keep a happy man. Absolutely. In marriage, grape is non-existent. As far as tired, just take it and let him have you. Men do a majority of the working sex. We have the master key after all, sis. Am I right? Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Just roll over and I wouldn't even say that. I would say allow or make it enjoyable. Don't just be a potato sitting there. I mean, I don't know too many men who would enjoy that anyways, knowing that your woman doesn't want you and you're doing it anyways. I mean, to each your own, but I don't think most men would enjoy that unless they were, got some other issues. But um yeah, I wouldn't even tell the women to just roll over and just do nothing. I think you should make him feel like you want him. Virgins have an 80% success rate in marriages. Wow, I did not know that statistic. That's good to know. It makes sense though, because the bond would be so much more stronger. It will be so much more stronger, especially for the women. They're going to be like, I could never imagine myself with someone else. And then when things arise in their marriage, it's like, no way, I can't divorce him for this. What am I going to do out here with, you know, by myself or with another man. I can't, it's just that mindset that I belong to you and that's it. And there's no I could do it without him type of attitude. If men don't feel desire, why should they stay in that relationship? Well, as far as relationships, I don't know. If you don't ever feel desire, maybe it is best that you walk away. But when it comes to marriage, I think that's something that you shouldn't walk away so easily, but definitely should be addressed, definitely should be talked about or fixed or something. But I definitely agree that it makes it not worth it if you're not desired in your marriage. That's why I speak to ladies to definitely stroke your man's ego and let him know that you desire him and you want him, and that should never end. You're 80, you should be 80 years old stroking that man, telling him how much of a good man he is and how lucky you are to have him. When I used to watch Oprah, I remember they had an episode about virgins, and all they wanted to do was encourage her to date and have booty calls. Oh, I'm so tired of mainstream media. Mainstream media wants to destroy our homes, and it's clear. It's clear. Everywhere you turn, somebody's telling young ladies that they need to go live their best life and go experience life. In other words, bodies, add more bodies before you get married and settle down. And that is the most dumb logic that I've ever heard. And it's clear that they want to ruin future marriages. They don't want to see nuclear families, because with nuclear families comes power, and we can actually make a difference and take over our communities when you have that structure. And I the indoctrination is real, you guys. People call me a conspiracy theorist, but mainstream media is horrible, and you definitely need to open your eyes and mind to what's really happening and how they're trying to keep men out the homes and try to turn women into men and men into women, and make it a shame to be masculine, and all these things. It's just a whole bunch of things literally going against the nuclear family, trying to break that down. All I thought about was how many bullets the young woman dodged, and they were setting herself up for needless pain and drama. Exactly. That's just horrible. Yes, F mainstream media. Absolutely. My kids aren't allowed to watch mainstream media. You should definitely guard your kids from that. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get personal. Uh-oh. Have you ever what is that? Shit tested your husband? Do things on purpose to gauge his reaction, hold him to his word, etc.? Absolutely not. That sounds like manipulation. Who does that? No, no. My husband is a grown man. I don't play games with him. You should not be playing games with your husband. Don't do that, ladies. Don't test your husband. You married him. That's it. Now it's your job to be his helpmate, and to build him in any way that you can by inspiring him. And I just recently seen a video. I forgot her name. I wish I could remember her name. She's from Philadelphia, but she did a video. It was somebody asked her, "Do you try to correct your husband?" And she was like, "No, I never. He's a man. I don't correct him. If there's anything that I feel that needs to be corrected, um well, she didn't say this, but from my perspective, if there's something that I don't like, I pray about it. I take it to God, because that's who his authority is. I'm not his authority. I can't check my husband. Now, there are times where we could have a conversation and I may tell him how I feel about something, but even then I choose wisely of you know, what I should bring to him. And before I even do that, like I said, I pray about it because I need the guidance of the Holy Spirit to make sure that I'm still in my place and I'm not coming to him as if I'm somebody's mother or his mother, because I am somebody's mother. But yeah, definitely. I think, ladies, we should never feel the need to correct your husband, even if you know he's wrong. Don't correct him. Let him figure it out on his own. Pray about it, deal with it the best way that you know how if it's affecting you, but it's emasculating. You shouldn't be correcting your husbands. Bro, I'm watching that video how your wife is mic dropping on that simp with the pro-life. He lost all the way because he is sloppy with his seed. Yes, man. That guy was talking about what if she takes my sperm out of the condom and then gets an abortion. Like, sir, that means that means she wanted the child. That don't even make sense now. You're just making up stuff because you don't want to have to take responsibility for the fact that you're sleeping with people. If you don't want to have babies, quit having sex, unprotected sex. Go get a vasectomy or something. That, stop killing our babies. I always hear people complaining about their husbands and motherhood, saying their kids are aggravating and hub is lazy. It's very discouraging for young women. Yes, it is. It's all about the mindset. And I talked about that earlier. You have to change your mindset coming into these relationships, and you got to cut toxic people off, because you get around certain women and they just go to the nagging and complaining about their husbands, when some of these things you should be honored to be able to be that person to take care of these things for your husband. I seen a video a while ago and it really changed my whole perspective of how I seen serving my husband, and not being so upset about the little things that were aggravating, like maybe throwing his dirty clothes on the floor and when there's a hamper basket right there next to it. You know what I'm saying? There's been times where I was annoyed with stuff like that, but I seen a video. Let me explain the video. So the woman, it happened to be about his laundry. He would throw his laundry on the floor, da da da. She would get annoyed. And then, God forbid this ever happened to any of us or our spouses, but he got in a car accident and died. She came home and there goes his dirty socks on the floor. There goes his shaved hair in the sink. There goes all the little things that used to annoy her and aggravate her about him. And she's like, oh my God, when I pick this up, this is going to be the last time I'm going to get to be able to do this. And my pregnant self is getting a little emotional thinking about it. Every time I talk about this video, it makes me so sad. Like, imagine my husband not coming home and I can't take care of him anymore. But anyways, that video completely changed my whole mindset to be grateful, to be honored that I get to be the one to take care of this man, because he's not going to always be here. So I just think it's silly and very selfish that women are walking around making marriage like it's so hard or aggravating, and just talking badly about your husbands. It's sad, but it's what is being portrayed on media. Is what this is how, like, we watch these videos, or not videos, I'm sorry, these shows where you see the family dynamic, and the woman is always annoyed with the husband. The husband is just some goofy idiot that doesn't really know what's going on, and the woman is just ruling the house, and she's aggravated with her dumb idiot husband. And this is just what's being pushed on us, and so we think it's cool to sit here and act like this. And and like I said, it's just a push to really break down our families and not make you know, that nuclear family great. They want to break us down. Whew. I'm reading the comments now. Trying to take a breather. I've been running my mouth. But you guys, I do have a show that I'm appearing on right after this. What time? 6:30 Central at Black Man Unfiltered's channel. I'm sorry, not 6:30 Central. It's 8:30 Central. It's 6:30 my time. 8:30 Central at Black Man Unfiltered. I'm gonna post his link down in the description, or yeah, down in the comments. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe to him. We definitely have great conversations. We're gonna have a good conversation tonight, right after this show. Let's see. What's the problem? That's the problem with society. We promote the worst of us. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see this. Did anyone see the viral video of the stay-at-home mom complaining about a load of laundry while her military husband was at work? She ranted on TikTok publicly, then got mad when others showed it to him. Yes, I did see that. They almost got divorced because of that. And it was so cringe for her to go online and sit there and talk about how lazy her husband is and how she had to do, how he wouldn't, what was it? He wouldn't turn on the washing machine. His clothes were in there. She wanted him to turn it on. So this was all about principle. She could have turned it on. It was all about control and principle for her. It had nothing to do with him not helping out. It had absolutely nothing to do with that. And I just found that so cringeworthy. This man, she's a stay-at-home mom at that. Like you said, she stays home. This is her job. And she's trying to make him do her job because he needs to help out a little bit around the house. No, he does not. No, he does. My husband doesn't lift a thing. Unless I can't lift it myself, of course. But laundry, absolutely not. Dishes, absolutely not. Diapers, absolutely not. He can count on his two hands how many diapers he's changed. And we have, like I said, 7 children. It is especially if you're a stay-at-home mom, it is your job to take care of. That is your career. That is your job. Why would you want him to have to do that after a long day of work? It's just ridiculous how this society is set up to make men not even want. What man will want to marry somebody like that? If men thought that that's what marriage would look like, they wouldn't be getting married. And that is what society and feminism is doing, is making men say F marriage. I don't want to get married. What do I benefit from that? And we got to change that narrative. We got to make better wives out here. Did anyone see the oh yeah, I'm reading that again. Let me see if I can. My father, let's see what you said. My father never changed a diaper or did housework, but he did work 2 jobs. Exactly. He did his job. He did his job. I can, like, my husband never changes diapers unless I'm just not there and he had to do it. And even then, I've trained my older daughter. She steps in. She's mom number 2. Like, we got a well ran machine in here where my husband can be the masculine man he needs to be to lead this family adequately. And us women, we need to make sure that our husbands can enjoy being a husband and find pride in that. When you got him putting on an apron, unless he enjoys cooking, let that man not cook. You cook. Why? It's all about principles. Thus, oh, my friend's husband cooks. Why can't you cook? Quit comparing yourselves to other people. Quit comparing yourselves. Really enjoying the show, Jasmine. Really appreciate the family focus and your insight. It's really refreshing on these YouTube streets. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I'm reading something. Yeah, so what's up? Y'all wanna got any more? Oh, let's see what this says. Modern women want men to do the same things they do, but maybe because the men they are with don't do the things only they can do. For instance, I don't change tires or fix stuff. uh, yeah, that's a great point, because a lot of time these modern women are finding men that aren't that masculine, because they know they can't deal with a man that's masculine, because they're not going to be able to deal with the accountability that he would put on her. So yeah, you very well could be right. They expect these things out of their men, because they know their men are pushovers. Like the woman that y'all brought up from TikTok, the stay-at-home mom that was having an issue. I could tell, because we are reflections of our husbands. I can tell that he doesn't put his foot down. I could tell that he lets her get away with just about anything. I could tell that he didn't check her. He should have checked her the first time she said, "You need to go turn on the laundry, the washing machine, or put the clothes in the dryer and turn it on." Like, that should have been checked immediately. He should have said, "No, you take care of that, and I'll continue to take care of what I'm taking care of." That should have been checked, but he didn't. And that's why she felt brave enough to hop on TikTok and to talk crap about this man. And then after he did finally check her, because people brought it to his attention, now he's embarrassed. So he now has to check her. She jumps back on TikTok to talk about the fact, I forgot exactly what she said, but I just felt like at that point you needed to you should have told her to delete that TikTok, stay off of social media, and do your job. And a lot of men aren't talking or dealing with their wives in that manner. I think a lot of men are afraid to, because of women like her will go on TikTok and have the whole world against him because now he's abusive. You see what I'm saying? So it women do what they can get away with. So I definitely agree with you. It's the type of man she's with, and a lot of times men don't like to admit that and take that responsibility. But at the end of the day, I could never do or say it's something like that to my husband. I wouldn't even think about it. Even before we were married, I knew him enough to know that would be a no-go, and he would have chucked the deuces to me. He would have never seen me again, and that would have been it. Because that was just beyond disrespect. So she did what she knew that she can get away with. Yep. Exactly, Mel. Shout out to you, Mel. Exactly. Too many dudes are too scared to walk away from their toxic girls. And it's a fear. It's the fact that they don't have many options as well. They feel like they won't be able to get access to sex. So as we saw with P&B Rock, women will sacrifice what they have with a man for the attention of social media. Absolutely, they will, because it's a drug. Attention on social media is an absolute drug. It's a drug and can really, you know, change the way you see life and reality. Really enjoying the show, Jasmine. Really appreciate the family folk. Yeah, I seen that. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Social media. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Social media can be a drug. I mean, I had to even give social media a break. I canceled my Facebook because I needed to focus more. Like my attention became social media, responding to comments. Like I would spend hours on it, arguing with people or whatever it may be. And it was just like, okay, I'm falling behind on my housework. I'm annoyed with the kids because they too loud because I'm trying to read something or watch a video, So excuse me. So is I think it's really important that women, especially because of how much attention is so accessible to us on social media, I truly believe our husbands need to be monitoring the amount of time we're on it and what kind of social media we're on, especially TikTok. TikTok is the worst. I refuse to ever make one, and if we did make a family values one, my husband's going to be running that. I don't want to get on TikTok. I've talked to married women where they even said it's bad. I can't get off of it, but I keep getting these this video just popped up and it made me feel this certain type of way towards my husband. Like it's a lot of influence in these videos we're seeing on TikTok and on Facebook. And I really believe our husbands need to be monitoring. And I know a lot of women feel like, oh well, I'm not a child, but you're under his leadership. He should definitely have a say on how much time you're spending on social media. In that vein, same as the high value man, trend demanding submission, but they are not traditional men. Just want the, exactly. I did a video about that recently. Traditional men wanting traditional women without being traditional. And that was me addressing the fact that you absolutely can live off of one income. And that was the thing. I see a lot of these men in the red pill. Nobody's gonna like me for or a lot of y'all not gonna like me for this. A lot of these men in the red pill movement that want this submissive traditional woman, but also at the same time think it's crazy to have to take care of her and provide for her solely and be the sole provider. I think that is ridiculous. How do you expect for her to be all of these things for you if she has to help you carry your weight? And a lot of men hate it when I say that. What do you mean carry my weight? Help me carry. Yes, help you. You want a woman to help you do your role, and then expect her to be 100% in her role. And that's just absolutely not fair. And I'm not saying it's okay to have conditional femininity or conditional submissiveness, but there is a environment that invites for a woman to really rest in her submission, in her femininity, and that is not having to worry about the things that men were created to worry about. And that's why I said you see these feminazis so angry and bitter. It's because they out here competing with men, trying to turn into a man, and they're aging and they're just masculine. Then you want your wife to be a submissive feminine woman, but you want her to go out in these streets and deal with the day-to-day, that the things that you have to deal with on the day-to-day, and then she has to come home and turn that off. And that could be a lot for a woman. And even in those cases, those same men want, sex every night, and then she's tired, and no, it's not an excuse to be tired, but she's tired. So are you going to create an environment for her so she can be the things that you need out of her? Let's see. Straight facts. There are not real men in the red pill space. I have cut all of them out, and they can come see me anytime. Oh man. Well, I don't know if there isn't any real men, but I've ran across a few of them that are just, not willing to step up to be that leader um that a submissive woman would need. Who is it? Agreed. There's too many dudes that have unrealistic views with women. They spending too much time on YouTube, so much, and they don't want to put in the work on their part, though. Absolutely, absolutely. And Mel, what these red pill guys tend to forget is that Kevin Samuels started with building men and telling them that they need to be, they need to work on themselves. That's what the whole movement started with. It was about building men into being better men. And it's like a lot of the red pill now have lost sight of that. And it's all about, beating down women and telling them that they need to get in line without them being someone worth getting behind, if that makes sense. I'm with you. Bernard is definitely turning into reverse feminism. Yes. Yes, that's a great word for that, reverse feminism. The most chaotic relationships I've had are with men raised by single mothers. My relationships with men who have had nuclear families like myself were great and ended maturely. Amen. That's absolutely true. That's why my channel is here. We got to break this curse. We got to fix this. We got to fix this. We need to make nuclear families great again. We need to make marriages work. So we can produce some children that's going to be beneficial to our community and beneficial to each other in marriage, so we can continue like I said, legacy is important, but that legacy is going to create a community in a world that is better for us. Children need to have their fathers in their home, especially little boys. Absolutely. It's a lot of trauma going on right now, and I blame feminism. I blame um feminism and food well, I was about to say food stamps. Welfare. Yeah. Yes, the space has morphed. It used to be a space for improvement and solutions, but it's since transformed into a pandering to the worst of us. Wow. Yeah. If you are on YouTube all the time, men, who are you spending time with? I can't make this up. True, brothers need to have a plan along with the strong principles and values before getting into serious relationships. Absolutely, you need something to be able to teach your wife and your children that you need to come with something. Yep, most of my debates have been with dudes more than women in these spaces. I had to walk away from that time to live real life, not online. Absolutely. Somebody came to my fixing the community starts by fixing the family and creating complete family structure. Absolutely. That's where it starts. It starts right at home. I recently had seen someone commented on a video of mine, and he was complaining about how his wife will not listen to him, and she won't submit to him, and just complaining about it. And I think this was actually, I seen him before in a different comment section, and he asked for my advice, and I told him to put his foot down and let her know what it is. And then he comes back and said, I did, and she just screamed and yelled at me. And then he later comes on to my channel and starts to complain about how unsubmissive she is, and this, and that, and the other. And although I know that must be very hard for him, but sir, is this new? Or has she always been this way? I think there's a form of accountability on the men's part. Why are you allowing women to treat you like this? Because she's only doing what you allow her to do. And now you're trying to change up on her because you're watching these videos and you want a different woman, but that's not the woman you married. And I'm all for improvement and I'm all for change, but the fact that he came back and was like, and she just screamed at me as if he's defeated, you know, that's not putting your foot down. That means you complained to her about something and she put her foot down and you, and you let her. So, it sounds like he's the one that's submitting to her, and I kind of had to call him out on that, and he didn't really like that. But we got to be men. You got to be a man. You got to have the strength to be able to walk away and say, I'm not dealing with this. Women respect that. The message you are spreading is so foreign to our youth. I fell for the feminist trap myself and wasted years. I'll never go back. I hope women are spared that, if only they heard it more. Absolutely, Sonia. I'm sorry you went down that road, but I'm glad that you're figuring it out now. And now you can use your voice and your story to help other younger women. And that's what I'm doing here. And I think it's our responsibility to let and warn young women, even if they don't want to hear us. We need to get louder than them because they're loud. They're loud. She's always been that way. He allowed that to happen. He isn't using his real power, the power to walk away and mean it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I fell for it too. And even worse, my parents inadvertently raised me to be strong, independent women, even though they were married. This happens to a lot of liberal suburbs. Yep. And it's crazy because not only do we need the nuclear family, but we need to retrain our principles, because we even see some of these nuclear families where the fathers and the mothers are teaching their daughters to be strong, independent women. And then they're growing up and mom and dad are wondering, where are my grandbabies? When you going to get married? And she's like, well, you told me to get my degree first. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of confusion going on. I think we just need to get back to the basics. What's important? That's why I advocate for marrying young. If especially my daughters, if you're leaving out of this house, you need to be going into your husband's house. I don't want them leaving until they have a husband. And if that means getting married at 18, so be it. 18 to 25 is kind of where I see is ideal for a young lady to get married. Not to go and live in the dorms at these colleges, because we all know what happens at these colleges. Not to just go experience life and have a bunch of different boyfriends. No. I would love for my daughter's first boyfriend to be her husband, and that's what we need to be pushing. But sadly, a lot of parents don't want to let go of their children, and they're keeping them children, saying you're not mature enough, you're not ready, you need to get your own and make sure that you can take care of yourself before you jump into a marriage. And I think that's ass backwards, and it's not helpful. Is making it harder for these young ladies to mold and and be whatever it is that their husbands need. I do not have to go around saying I am a man. I show it. Just like my brother Driscoll TV. Amen. Amen. I don't advise living with someone before marriage. I don't either. Absolutely. Yep, pushed me to go to college, get my own place. I actually think my mom wanted me to live out the life she wanted if she wasn't married, and I absolutely was miserable. And that's a great thing you just brought up, because that's what happens. That's exactly what happened. They want, especially these mothers, because society, media, they think the grass is greener on the other side, and they want their daughters to get to experience everything that they didn't get to, so they can vicariously live through you. And it's sad because they don't realize that they're setting up their daughters for failure. Any man who must say, I am king is no true king. Game of Thrones, be a man. Okay. All right, you guys. So I think I'm going to be wrapping up now so I can get a bite to eat before my next show. Just to let you guys know, I don't know exactly which Monday we're going to start, but be looking out in the future. We will be having a weekly show called Marriage Mondays. Towards the end of October. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to start that, but it's going to be very soon. I'll have my husband up and we can talk marriage and talk about how we can better have working marriages and how our roles can really balance each other out and etc. And maybe even have you guys call in and we can just go from there. But we're definitely going to start with Marriage Mondays, and that's going to be exciting. I'm excited about starting that. Oh, I'm sorry, I have my notes right here. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Marriage Mondays is going to start right after I have the baby. I'm due October 22nd, and uh I also have a virtual or not a virtual. I have a baby registry if you would like to bless the family with our eighth baby is on the way, like really like about to be here really soon. So if you'd like to bless us, we have that. I think I'll have my husband link that in the comment section right now if you would like to help us out with that. I'll go live and I'll definitely thank all of you guys with the gifts from the registry, and when we can do a little virtual baby shower if y'all want to join me for that. So that'll be fun. And yeah, and we just we would just like to share our experience with you guys and share the blessing of this new baby with you all. I'm excited. With each baby, it's always exciting because it's like, I wonder what this baby is going to look like. And because they all come out different and with different personalities. So, baby number 8, she's a girl. So, I'm really excited about that. Thank you, Red Lipstick Vibes. Thank you. But yeah, I'm going to get on out of here so I can get a bite to eat and feed the kids before this next show. So, meet me over at Black Man Unfiltered's channel, and I'll be there at 8:30 Central Time. And I forgot exactly what we're going to be discussing, but it's going to be provocative. So definitely come over there and support and subscribe to his channel. But anyways, thank you all. God bless you. And let's make marriage great again.
We need you long, we lost so many chosen. We need to please, think I'm thought provoking.